Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to walk you through how I make this beautiful backpack. It's a beautiful piece that you can make for your kids or for yourself. This is how it's looking like. So here I have this colorful bead, multicolored. This is what we are going to use. It's in 8mm bead, and I have my fish line over here, 50-pound fish line, and my plier. So this is the fish line, and this is how it's looking like. So here is the 8mm bead. It's in 8mm, the measurement. I'm going to put it in the description box. So here I put 4 beads on the line, and I'm going to cross the other end into the 4th bead and pull down like this. It's going to be 4/4 beading. So this is the starting, and now we are going to continue with 3 bead. I'm going to put one bead on each line, and I'm going to cross both ends into the 3rd bead, just like that. This is how it's looking like. So we start with 4, and now we continue with 3, 3, 3, and here is another 3. I'm going to put one on each line and cross into the 3rd bead, like how I did for the second one. This is how we are going to continue until we have our length that we want. One on each line and cross it with the 3rd one. Just like how I'm doing it, just follow the steps and you do it the same thing. So we'll continue. So here I make 19. This is 19 that I made, and we are going to turn on this 19 to make 20, because I want the length to be 20. So I'm putting all 3 on that line and crossing it through so that my line can be on the side and I can continue my beading. So on this line I'm going to drop 3 bead. This line, I'm going to put 3 bead on it. So into the next bead, I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 bead. This is how we are going to continue. I'm going to through the next bead, next bead over there, the blue one. I'm going to put the line through it, and I'll add 2 bead to the other line. This is how we are going to continue our weaving until we come to the end of the row. So next one, let's go through the next one and add 2. Next one and add 2 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead again. This thread stuck on the bead, and add 2 bead. So we are going to continue like that, and I'm going to weave to the end of the row. This is how I continue. You go through the next bead, add 2 beads. So now that I'm coming to the end of the second row, this is how it's looking like so far. It's a multicolored bead and it's beautiful. So I'm going to go through the last top bead. And on that line, I'm adding 2 beads. And cross the line so that the line can come to the side so you can continue your weaving. Now on this line, I'm going to add 3 beads. Then I'll continue the way we did. I'm going to continue going through 1 bead and adding 2 beads. That's how it's going to continue until we come to the end of the line. You add 2 beads. You go through the next bead and add 2 beads. Bead. Going through the next bead. And now add 2 beads. So this is how I'm going to continue until I finish that row. Go to the end and come back, weave. That's how we are going to continue to weave. So far I complete 7 rows and I'm on my 8th row. This is how it's looking like, and this is how I'm going to continue to weave until I get the length that I want. I'm just going to continue to weave until I get my desired length for the bag. This is how the weave is looking like. Very beautiful with bright colors. Okay, here I'm done with my weaving. I weave 41 by 20. This is 41 by 20. So I'm going to take 9 for my base and the rest for my side. I'm going to pick 9 in the middle and use it for my base. Like this is how I'm going to fold it, and I'll show you how I'm going to close the side of it. So here I made a part of the bag for the side to join them together, and I'm going to show you how I'll join it. So here is how I'm going to join it. I'm going to put my line on the edge bead over there. Then I'm going to add 1 bead to the line and go through the edge bead on the other piece. And I'm going to use a bead to cross it to join them together like this. Now I'm going to go through both beads. I'm going to go through this one, and I'll use the other line to go through the other one. And I'm going to use bead to bind them together. I'm going to cross the line into 1 bead. So this is what I'll be repeating until I join both pieces together to the end. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like this, and I'm going to cross both lines into that bead. This is how you join your pieces. We are going to be doing this a lot in this bag. I'm going to go through the next one. We are going to be joining a lot of pieces with this project. I'm just crossing the line into the bead, and I'm going to continue until I go to the end. So now I'm done. I close it to the end. Here is the end, the line here. I'm going to fold the piece up like that and fold the other side on it like this. I think you can already see the shape. Then I'm going to continue to do the same thing until I come to the end. I'm going to do the same thing weaving. Now I'm coming to the end. I'm going to add one bead, go through the other line, then I'll weave the rest of the line into the bead. So this is how it's looking like. This is the side, and we are going to do the same thing to the other side too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm joining it to the bottom piece. This is the top. This is the top, and I'm joining it to the bottom one. So the same thing, I put my line through the edge bead, then I'm adding a bead to the line, and I'm going to cross it into, go through the edge bead on the opposite piece, and I'm going to use bead to cross both lines into it. Like that. Into crossing. This is how we are going to join, like how we did for the first piece. Now I'm going through the next bead. Go through the next bead. And cross it with a bead. Like that. So this is how I'm going to continue weave until I come to the end of it. I'm in the end, and then I'm going to do the same thing too. I'm going to fold it up and continue my weaving like this. The same thing we did. I'm going to repeat it to this place. Continue and close the side. Okay, now I want to put a little shape. I want to put shape in the bag because I don't want it loose like that. So I found a middle on the side of the bag. I found a middle because it's 9. I found a middle which is 3. I picked 3. I put my line through 3 beads, and I'm going to cross my line into 1. Like that. I'm just trying to put a shape in the bag. Now I'm going to go through those next 2 beads, the blue one and the green one. So I'm going through the blue one first, and I'm going to use the other line to go through the green one. Like that. I'm going to cross both lines into a bead. And pull it down. Now the next 2 beads, want good shape in this bag. That's why I'm picking 3 on top. I'm doing the same thing. Now with this, I'm going to go down 1 step. Go down into this bead, this pink bead. I'm going to poke my line through that bead. And I'm going down in the brown bead inside there too, the brown bead. And I'm going to cross bead like how I'm doing it. I'm going to use bead to cross it. Cross both line into it. Like that. And I'm going to pick another 2 again. Repeat the same thing. Go down 2 bead. This is how you put a shape in the bag. I'm going to go through the green one too. So here it is. My line is in the black and the green bead. So what I have to do is to just cross both ends in the bead. Just like that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to weave the rest of the line into the bead. This is how it's looking like. The shape is in the bag now. So this is how it's looking like. Both sides is done. Now we have a bag. We have something to work with. This is the inside. And this is the outside, the bottom of it. I have this top that I want to put on it, like a pocket outside. So I'm going to join the same, put those pieces together. Like how we join the side, I'm going to do the same thing with this piece on it. So you just find your middle and place it on it where you want it to be. You can make a small one of this or make it big. So you just join it on the bag. Just make sure you measure your spot well, so when you put it land in the middle very well. So I'm going through the edge bead of that bag. Then I'm going to add 1 bead on the line. Then I'm going to go through a bead on the bag, the next bead on the bag. So I'm going to go through this black one. That is the line I'll be using to join this piece together. Now I'm going to go through the next bead, this one right here, and the other line I'm going to go through the next bead, because it's a line. You have to follow that line. The first bead you put the line in, you have to continue picking the next bead from that line. If you drift from that line, your bag is going to look crooked. So you work with only that line. So you pick up, you go through a bead on the piece and go through a bead on the bag, the same line. I'm going to go to the next line, which is the yellow one, and cross my line into it. We are just joining the piece together to make a pocket. Now the bead under that yellow bead, orange, you go through it. You have to work with the same line. like that. This is how we're going to continue to attach the piece to the bag. Okay, now I'm done with one side. I'm going to continue and make it complete and finish it up the same way I did for the side. The same thing I'm going to do for all. Okay, this is how it's looking like. This is the pocket that I put on it. You can put stuff in it. It's big enough. This is the pocket. My hand can easily go into it. And now on the side, I made these pieces too that I want to put on the side. You can decide to make it small or bigger than mine. I'm going to add it to both sides, like how I did that pocket over there. The same thing I'm going to do for the side pocket too. I'm going to repeat the same thing, but I'm going to start for you to see. So this is the edge bead. I add one green bead and I go through a bead on the bag. So I'm crossing my line into a bead like that. Now I'm going to go through one bead on the opposite side. Then I cross it the same way we did for the top. We are going to repeat the same thing for the side. So we are going to continue into the next bead and cross it. Cross your line into a bead. Orange bead, you pick up one bead, one on the bag, one on the piece. So I'm done with the pocket. I'm done attaching the pocket, both pockets to it. This is how it's look like, the big one and the side pocket. Now what we have to do is to put a flap on it, a closure on the bag. So this is the piece that I've made. This piece I want to put a shape into it so we can use it for the flap. So I'm going to leave the first line and go through the second bead. Just like that. I want to put a little shape into it. So I'm adding 3 beads on this line. Like that. Then I'm going to the next bead and add 2. So this one is just going to be the way we weave the bag, the way we weave our rolls. You continue like that. Add 2 beads and cross it through. Now into the next bead, I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 beads. Same way we weave, just that we left 1 bead behind. Now we come to end at this bead, the yellow one. We're going to end on it. So my line is in that. I'm going to add 2 beads to this line. So this is where it's gonna end, and I'm going to weave the rest of the line into the bead. Now I'm going to leave that bead and go through the purple one. I'm going to leave one, go to the purple one, like that. I'm adding 3 beads. Go through the next bead and add 2. Until you come to the second but last, that one over there. So here it is. We complete our flap, and this is the shape. So what we have to do, I'm going to just join it to the bag, attach that piece to the back. I'm going to attach it to the bag so we can close it on the front. So I'm going to join the same way we did for the top, the same way we did for the side. We are going to repeat the same thing for this one too. I'm going through the edge bead. And the other line too, I'm going to go through the edge bead. Make sure you measure your line, your bag, to see where the flap is gonna land. Make sure you pick the right place. It has to align with everything. Don't just start from the middle, you have to start from the beginning. So everything aligns very well on the bag. I'm just doing the same thing we did for the pockets. Go through each opposite bead and cross your line into a bead. Go through that and go through the other one too. Then you are going to cross your line into a bead. You join the same way we join those pieces together. Now into the next bead. I'm going to cross it with another bead, like that. I'm going to continue until I complete it. So this is how it's looking like. I made a strap, and this strap you're going to attach it to the bag too. Because it's a backpack, it needs a strap. So we are going to join it the same way we did for those pieces. I'm going to pull through the edge bead, add a bead, and go through a bead on the bag. If you are making it for yourself, measure the back side where you want your strap to land, or where you want your strap to be. Then you just attach it to that place. Some people back is wide and some are little, so you have to know where to attach it. Now I'm going to the next one. And into this purple one. And cross your line into a bead. So this is how we attach the strap onto the bag. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to weave the rest of the line into the bead and make sure it's well secured enough. So I'm going to weave and weave very long, into the bead. I'm going to weave, continue weaving. Sometimes I just weave the rest of the line. I don't care how long it is. I will weave and weave all into the bead. So this is the strap. I made a little hook on the bag that I'm going to pull the strap through. This one right here. So I'm going to pull the strap through that hook. Make sure you fix the strap also well. And then you attach the second one to the bag. This is how it's looking like. Very pretty and very beautiful. I'm going to attach this one like we did for the first one. Now I want to make a little closure on the bag. So I'm making closure over here. I'm just weaving a belt to put that claw into it. I'm just weaving a little bit. So I pick a middle, 2 beads from the middle. I pick 2 beads from the middle, and the bead that I'm using over here is 6mm bead. 6mm. It's smaller than the size of the bead I use for the bag, so it can go through. I can easily wrap it around the hook. So this is how it's looking like. It's a smaller bead, and what I'm going to use it for, I'm going to use this and wrap the bead around it like this, and I'll attach it to the bag. And you can close on this hook I made here. So I'm adding a bead to my line, and I'm going to go through this bead right here, the first bead that I picked. I'm going to go to this bead, and on the other line I'm going to cross both lines into that bead. Just like that. And I'm going to go through the black bead. I'm just attaching it to the bag. So I'm going through that bead, and I'm crossing the lines into the bead. So this is how it's looking like. This is how it's looking like. So we are going to use this hook to lock the bag so that anything you put in there will not fall out. Now I'm done hiding the line into the bead. This one has opening like this. You just hook it onto the next one, just like that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Now our bag is done. This is how it's looking like. This is the backpack that we have made. A beautiful, beautiful piece. You can make one for yourself. These are the steps I used to create this and to achieve this backpack. You have all the pockets that you need. Now we need a top handle. So I'm going to attach this top handle on it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach it. It's the same way we are putting the pieces together. So I'm going to pick that bead over there. I'm going to add one bead to my line first before I go through a bead on the bag. Where you want the handle to be, you have to measure it and put your handle over there and fix your handle over there. So I went through that bead. I want my handle to land over there. So I'm crossing it into a bead. Now I'm going through the next bead. Going through the purple bead right there, and this one over there, the cream bead. And now I'm going inside of the bead, one bead, and I'm going to use the other line to go through the yellow bead there. So I can cross over to the other side and continue to attach the handle. I'm just picking a bead on that handle and going through a bead on the back. That's what I'm doing here. Like how I start, I'm going to weave around. I'll be going through the next bead. Like that. And the next bead down on the bag. Yeah, I think this is well cleared enough. This is how I'm going to continue to attach. I'm just going round to complete. Then I'll do the second one the same. So here I'm on the second handle too. I'm attaching it to the bag. The same way we did for the first one, we are going to do the same thing for this one too. Just pull and pull tight. Pull everything tight on your bag. This is the final product, guys. This is how it's look like. This is how I achieved my backpack. Beautiful, very pretty. This is how it's looking like. They have the strap and all the pockets that you need. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in my next video.